Welcome, welcome, and good morning. Today is New Year's Eve 2024. My name is Tracy. You're knitting with me, or actually today, you're winding yarn with me. I'm from Knitwerks, and you can find me at knitwerks.com or email me at knitwerks@gmail.com. Today, I am going to wind up my Whoopsland Aran Weight from Knitpicks. I am going to discuss my New Year's resolutions that I'm probably not going to follow through on, except for the knitting ones. And I'm going to talk about the projects that I have on my list to do in 2025. So welcome as I wind the yarn on my brand new Alla Craft yarn winder. I would like to say this is my first time using it, but I recorded this video where I actually cut my head off the first time. So congratulations, you're with me on my second try. So I am putting it in this little slit here. The yarn will be there. And I am figuring it out, right? I'm figuring it out. So bear with me. First time went a lot smoother. Maybe I'll put some of that video in here so you can see how well it went. I also have my champagne flute out because it is New Year's Eve and I am looking forward to having some champagne, Prosecco to be specific, and we will probably do that at about 7 o'clock. I have 3 kids, 8, 10, and 13, so we generally celebrate New Year's 7, 8 o'clock. The kids the last 2 years have wanted to stay up till midnight. One has made it. The other 2 have fallen asleep on the couch. And they all have woken me up at about 5 to midnight. So that's where things go with me. And then, of course, starting tomorrow, I start my annual Dry January. So you might see me with a pretty wine glass, but there will be tea in it. And I've purchased a whole bunch of different kinds of teas to help support me and make me feel it's like I'm trying different things, different flavors, something to focus on. I bought some flowering tea, and I'm going to put that in my wine glass and make it feel pretty. So those are my, not resolutions, but sort of the routine that I have. So for 2025, a few non-knitting things that I want to do is, of course, become more organized and lose weight, exercise more, eat healthier, and slow down. So I am very anxious, very stressed out, wondering if I have ADHD because I just read some things and it's like, oh my goodness gracious. So for instance, boy, I hope my husband's not watching this. I went to a restaurant while I was away, left my credit card there. Third time in about a year and a half. So I couldn't find my yarn notebook because one of the things that I do want to do knitting related is document better. And this isn't as extensive as I thought it would be, but it's still good. Which direction was I going on? See, things like that. I can't remember what I was doing a second ago. No, that's something to talk to with the doctor about. And regardless, I can try and use some techniques to do better. So, but fiber-wise, craft-wise, I do have resolutions for the new year. As I talked about, I want to do the Master Hand Knitting program, certification program, but I also want to first get better, do better. I have done a lot of knitting. I have about 30 years of experience, but it's always been sort of loosey-goosey and on my own terms. So my goal is to work on my techniques, and I have also decided that I want to knit a capsule wardrobe. So far I have 2 long sleeve sweaters done. I have 2 cardigans that I want to make, and this is the first one. Speaking of ADHD, I bought this pattern twice. I'm asking for a refund because I bought it on Ravelry and I bought it on the website. Oops. Um, so 2 cardigans, 2 long sleeve sweaters, which are in the books, and 2 t-shirts to begin with. I also want to work on color work, which I made in my last sweater, the dark water sweater. Cables, which will come in handy here, because this is a lot of cabling. And lace work. So I put away my organizer, which is already getting full. Put away my yarn journal. I'm also going to try and document it on Ravelry. So I am Knitwerks 1 on Ravelry. If you want to follow me, friend me, see what I'm working on. I have my projects updated. I try and keep on top of them. This year I'm going to keep on top of them. So I want to discuss the projects that I plan on doing in 2025. So first of all, I have 3 cross-stitch projects. One is my work logo that I've been working on, and I would say I'm about 20% done with that. Uh, it's just like 2 colors, so it's been hard to just sit there and do that. Plus, I really wanted to get the dark water sweater done, which I did 2 days ago. Second is an Excel picture. It's called Relax. I have a spreadsheet for that. I want to hang that in my office, but it's a lot of colors. And I decided this time to order pre-gridded fabric instead of doing it myself, because on my work logo project, I didn't have it exactly 10 by 10. That's sort of also another reason why I'm not as far as I want to be on that. And then finally, I have a wedding picture that I am cross-stitching that I started before I went off on knitting. As my husband said, are you going to finish that? I will finish it eventually. About 20% done. I'm sitting here looking at it. It's on my Lowry cross-stitch stand. I have Lowry, and I also, which is a floor stand, so it comes up to about here, and it holds it out here. And both my needle minders are on it, even though that I was searching for about 2 weeks for one of them. Now I see it. And I also have an artisan Elan stand, which I don't think they make anymore. It's a lap stand. So I put it right on my lap, winds up about here, and work through it. Of course, with the work logo, I haven't been using either of them, which is not ergonomic. So I do recommend, if cross stitch is really your thing, get a stand. It helps a lot, and you can work it with both hands. So after that, I have, let me pull this up. Look at that. I have knitting projects. I have a lot of them. So bear with me. I'll put the links in the description and pictures. My other cat's trying to get in. Pictures as well of the projects. So one, I'm working on 2 hats for my kids. You've seen the one for my youngest. It's made with the same yarn, Wool of the Andes, that I used for their sweaters, so it will match. I've just finished the brim of my middle child, my 10-year-old, and I had to redo it because it was too small. His head is too big. The good thing about these, though, the kids bought their own pom-poms to put at the top, so I don't have to make that. I can't seem to find gauges. I have my daughter's. So 2 hats. I hope I didn't leave it at the B&B. I hope so. I hope not. I think she would have reached out if I did. But I haven't unpacked. I just got back yesterday. And it usually takes me 1 to 3 months to unpack. So I have the 2 hats. The next step is the cardigan, which is what I was winding up the Whoopsland for. It's an Aran or Heavyweight by Knitwerks. And this is going to be a heavily cabled cardigan. And I have 2 patterns. So that is by Hiroko Payne. You can find it at thehairandthecrow.com. It was originally published in Lane magazine. And this is also found on Ravelry. Do not buy it twice. I've asked for a refund. I wonder if they'll be kind enough to do that. But that's the sewed cardigan Hiroko Payne. So that is one of my cable projects. Then I have the balloon jacket by Petite Knits. This is another cardigan, and I am planning on knitting it with my blue wool of the Andes. And I actually purchased a few more so I can make it a little bit longer. That isn't any specific technique. I just like it. I've never knit anything from Petite Knits. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and I'm ready to get on the bandwagon for this one. It's just pretty. It'll be gorgeous in blue. I love this color blue. And that's wool of the Andes. Then I am going to knit the Professor Meow t-shirt. That is found on Knitpicks, and I've already purchased the pattern once, only once. And I'm going to make that with this Wonder Fluff. It's bulky weight. So it is a t-shirt, and the main color is blue, and then the cat is knit in gray. So that is another color work project, and I'd like to get it done, but since it's a t-shirt, I'm not in such a rush to get it done. I figured it is winter now. Let me get the long sleeves done, then go on to the t-shirts. So this will be my second color work pattern. Not stranded knitting, but I think it'll still give me some of the techniques of color work. And after that, I have the Leia t-shirt, and I'm going to make that with, I am not sure which color. These are both gloss. They are made by Knitpicks again. It's lace weight yarn, so I will hold 2 strands together. And this is 70% wool and 30% silk. So I have the Leia t-shirt. I can't remember who made it because I didn't put it in my notes. I'll put it in the description. And then there's the Jewel t-shirt by Custom Knits 2, Wendy Bernard. I've made that before. I made that when I was a size large. My daughter is now wearing it. And I bought that yarn from Tuesday Morning, which is no longer operating. But I do remember there was silk involved. So I'm hoping this gets me the same drape and feel as that shirt. It won't be as many colors, but I am very into solids right now. I have plenty of sock yarn, plenty of yarn that's different colors, and maybe that'll be 2026. And then finally, for my other cabled project, which I've talked about before, I am going to do the Christmas stockings 2020 in this cranberry wool of the Andes weight. I bought this to make a sweater for my husband, but it is a little itchy and he didn't want it. So I am going to make 5 stockings. I have red and I have white. So I may make green, red, 2 and white, or I may make them all in red. That is a lot of cables and a lot of stockings. So I'm probably going to leave that for last and try and get that done by next Christmas in 2025. So those are my 8 knitting projects. I'd also like to do a Musselburgh hat, but I don't have it listed, and that will be as I need something more mindless to do. So that's my plans for 2025. What are yours? Do you have knitting goals, fiber goals, craft goals, or maybe you're just going to wing it, which is what I have always done up until this year. I would love to hear from you, but in the meantime, have a happy new year. Enjoy yourself. Happy knitting, and I will see you next year.